Alright, page 164, numbers 4 through 12 in the Math 1 book, the red one. Simplify the rational expression. If possible, find the excluded values. I'm going to call them EV. Now, number 6. First off, this stuff is tough, so you really have to practice. If you don't understand something that I do, please go back and watch it again, or try to do it on your own, because sometimes you might make an alternate step that is equally advantageous, or it might just be quicker to you. However, just make sure that they are legit mathematical steps. So, but anyway, what I like to do first is I like to find the excluded values first. The excluded values is just where the bottom equals 0. Please do not just set equals 0 down here. That's not what your teacher wants you to see, but we're going to find the excluded values as well. I'm working in pencil now because I might even make a mistake, right? So 12x minus 24x squared equals 0. And then I'm going to just take I'm just going to divide both sides by 12 because there's a 12 in there that sort of doesn't affect the problem at all. So this is x minus 2x squared equals 0. And then I'm going to take a greatest common factor of x, write it out here, x times 1 minus 2x equals 0. So it seems like x equals 0, and then 1 minus 2x equals 0. If you set 1 minus 2x equal to 0, you would subtract 1 and then divide by negative 2. If I subtract 1 and divide by negative 2, I get positive 1/2. So I'm just going to write my answer as positive 1/2. And of course, you might have to show a little bit more work than I did, but here are your two excluded values. Okay, those are not the solution to the question. Those are the numbers that x cannot be. They cannot be those two numbers because those two numbers would make the denominator equal to 0. Okay, so now let's go back and simplify the question. What I do when I'm simplifying is, first off, I think it's important, I don't know if it is or not, but I think it's important to draw an arrow here instead of equal signs, because this is not an equation. So that's why I'm writing the arrow there. But anyways, 9x squared minus 36, what I would do is take a 9 out first, greatest common factor. 9, x minus 4. Sorry, x squared minus 4. Right here, I would take a 12 out. 12 x minus 2. I'm sorry, 12x squared is your greatest common factor. 12x is your greatest common factor. Good thing I'm using a pencil. 12x. And I'm left with 1 minus 2x. Okay? And of course, there are some things to cancel. The 9 and the 12 look like they could simplify. I'm just going to go one more step before I do any canceling. I've got 9, x minus 2, x plus 2. And basically all I did was factor this right here, this x squared minus 4. That is x minus 2x plus 2 by the difference of squares. Pattern, and then 12x and 1 minus 2x. Okay, so 9 and 12 would simplify to 3 over 4. And I think that is all the simplifying we can do for this question. So 3 over 4x, 1 minus 2x. So that's it. Alright, hope that was good for you. Go back and redo it if you need to. Number 9, I'm going to do the excluded values first. and I just like to do those first. You don't have to, but 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. So we're going to set it equal to 0, then we're going to solve using the Lizzie method. X squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Multiplies on negative 6, adds up to negative 5. Well, that's negative 6 and positive 1. And then I am going to be dividing by 2. And that's what the Lizzie method tells me to do. So x minus 3, 2x plus 1 equals 0. And my two excluded values in this case are x equals 3. And also, if I set this equal to 0, I'm subtracting 1 and dividing by 2. So subtract 1, divide by 2. Those are your two excluded values, 3 and negative 1/2. Alright, sorry my work is a little bit crowded, and also I am skipping some steps. I'm expecting that you've learned the Lizzie method. Go back and look at some of the videos on Lizzie method, or go back to your notes to revisit that concept if needed. So now what we're going to do is simplify this. Okay, we take a 4x out. We're left with x minus 3. And then I've already factored the bottom, so I factored it into x minus 3 and 2x plus 1. So the only other step is to cancel the x minus 3's out, and this is your final answer, 4x over 2x plus 1. So that's your simplified fraction. Okay, I'm going to try to sneak in number 12 in this 10-minute video. We're going to set the denominator equal to 0 to find excluded values. 2x cubed minus 8x equals 0. Divide both sides by 2 and get x cubed minus 4x equals 0. So that gives me x times x squared minus 4 equals 0. So that gives me x equals 0. X squared minus 4 equals 0. Add 4. X squared equals 4. Square root both sides. Remember, the square root of x squared is absolute value of x equals 2. So x equals plus or minus 2. So how many excluded values do you have this time? You actually have 3 of them. X equals 0, and then also plus or minus 2. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is reduce, or I'm going to factor the top. What multiplies into 10 adds up to 7. Of course, that's 5 and 2. And then I'm going to take out a 2x, and I'm left with x squared minus 4. And then that gives me, sorry, arrow, x plus 5, x plus 2 times 2x times difference of squares, x minus 2x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, and you see the x plus 2's will cancel, and this gives us our final answer as x plus 5 over 2x times x minus 2. It seems like I'm still under 10 minutes. Yes. So there you go, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you learn from it. Don't just copy it down, really try to understand it. Go back and redo these problems if needed, and go back, look at your old notes, look at the old lessons, and hopefully these videos will be more helpful than detrimental to your education. Alright, see ya.